Have you ever had a conversation where it was obvious that the person you were talking to was somewhere else? Stay with me today to learn 4 ways to make sure no one ever thinks this about you. Research done by Ellen Kelly on Irish perceptions and attitudes to counselling and therapy showed that when experiencing a mental health difficulty, Irish adults find that talking about it is the most helpful thing, especially to a person close to them, to a GP or a counsellor or psychotherapist. Talking is what helps, but it's not just talking into the void, but the act of being listened to by another person. How can we make sure that when people open up to us, they feel they are being heard? How can we best communicate that we are listening? Here are 4 areas to consider to make sure that we are good listeners. Firstly, if someone is opening up to you, make sure that you're giving them your time and your attention. A few months ago, I was having a conversation with someone in a restaurant when behind them, through the door, walked someone who lived on the other side of the country. I had no idea that they were going to be there, and I had no idea why they would even be there. For the rest of the conversation I was having with the person across from me, I was glancing across and trying to figure out, is that who that is and why are they there? And eventually I actually just stood up. I said to the person that I was going to go, and I stood up and walked over to talk to them. When I think back about that conversation that I had with my friend right in front of me, I'm not sure if they would have gotten that I was a good listener in that time. How can we make sure that whenever we're sitting in front of someone, we actually are giving them the time and the space that they deserve to really feel that they're being listened to by us? Firstly, we can put our phones away, either turning them face down on the table in front of us, or ideally putting them away in a pocket or a bag to avoid that distraction. And also make sure that that time is carved out for them, that there isn't going to be, as much as is in our power, any interruptions that are going to interrupt the time. Secondly, our body language is so key. Body language makes up about 60% of our communication. So just because we say we're listening, it doesn't mean that the other person is going to feel that we are. If we're sitting slumped over our coffee or looking off into the distance, then we won't be making them feel heard. Maintain eye contact. It doesn't have to be constant eye contact. That can be a bit intense. But for the majority of the time, try and show your attention by eye contact. Also lean towards them, maybe angle your body so that you're focused and facing on them in a way that invites them to continue sharing and doesn't block them from opening up. Thirdly, encourage them to share by asking clarifying questions. You don't need to dig for every single detail and answer everything that they say with a question and almost feel that you don't believe them if you do that. But every now and then, ask a question to help show that you're engaged and you're listening, and also to make sure that you're tracking with them. This then leads us on to number 4, which is to practice reflection in your conversation with them. Reflection is taking the time to pause and repeat back to them in your own words what you think that you're hearing from them. So you might say, let me just check that whenever you say that you mean this, and confirm what they're hearing. What this does is it both ensures that you're hearing correctly, and it also makes them feel like they are being listened to and valued. Listening to someone is a great gift that we have, and it doesn't cost us anything. Next time you find yourself in a situation where someone is sharing with you, try out some of these tools to make sure that you are communicating to them that you are listening.